times, I'm taking off and my limb broke and I was dragged by the wind, and my soldiers came up to me to evacuate me. I said, no, I'll not go. You get my spare limb from my room, I'll wear, and then I'll fly and come down. I remained calm, otherwise it was easy for me to panic and say that how will I go down. Second incident, my glider went onto the turbulent side and I was falling with the speed, and I kept myself calm, otherwise I could have just hit the power line which was going from one state to other state.
There are some individuals who leave you inspired every time you interact with them. One such gentleman is Lieutenant Colonel DD Goel, who's an army officer, lost both his legs during an insurgency. Despite that, he came back stronger, continued to serve the army, continued to question the narrative, learned various adventure activities, and is now a successful motivational speaker and an author. Watch my very inspirational conversation with him to better understand the power of the mind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. Today we have a very special guest with us, one of my inspiration for a lot of adventure sports that I get myself into. He has been doing a lot of those himself as well. We're going to understand from him his mindset and how does he put himself into that kind of situations. So,
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
I'm so pleased that we could do this today, sir. Even after your busy schedule today in Delhi, you
Yes.
took the time out to meet me.
Yes, and I could see that enthusiasm and that josh in you to make it till this place.
Definitely.
And continue your passion for interview.
I wouldn't miss a chance to interview you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So you inspired me a lot to do a lot of adventure sports. Previously I've done snowboarding. I've done scuba diving. Next in line is kayaking.
Wow.
That I'm going to go to Rishikesh this month, the coming month.
Lovely.
And after that, something which is really close to your heart, that is paragliding.
Paragliding.
I'm going to be driving to Beer for that. So.
Wow.
So before I get into my story, can we hear it from you, sir? How did you get into paragliding?
Well, it's actually a very interesting sport. Before I got into paragliding, I must tell you, I happened to lose my left leg in one of the operations, that is during Operation Parakram. And thereafter, I was hospitalized for good about 3-4 months. So during the hospitalization period, empty mind becomes devil's workshop. Either you take a call to do something, or you restrict yourself to the wheelchair and not only nag yourself, you nag others also. Second part was not meant for me. The former part, that I don't want to restrict myself to the wheelchair and just go out or in the open. So during the hospitalization period, we went for learning dance. That is the first thing what I could do after I got my leg and my prosthetics. So we started taking baby steps, balancing ourselves and getting those confidence back that okay, now I'm able to walk. The effort was same what a one-year-old toddler would do. Same effort, balancing and learning to climb the stairs again. It was good effort. So after learning dance for a few weeks and then performing in front of the audience,
wow,
that added on to my confidence, that even they could not make out that I am having an artificial leg with me. Thereafter, I decided to go back to my unit. And when I came back to my unit, I was playing basketball with my troops, shoulder to shoulder. Of course, many times I broke my prosthetics. Many times I had to come to Pune, to the artificial limb center, repair it, and then go back. So again, the second level again boosted my confidence. But as life is not bed of roses, at times people would really look at you with that question mark, telling you that will you be able to do it? Will this task be done by you? Will this be completed by you? So those question marks, rose questions in my mind, that what if I really believe the same for me, that I am a liability for others? So let me do something. Why not I touch the skies? So for somebody who is not able to walk, what if he flies? So that first conceiving of the idea was just in the battalion when I was sitting in my room. So this occurred in my mind. I went to my commanding officer and I said that, sir, I want to go for 13 days leave. And he understood that I am about to do some hanky panky. So he discouraged me in a way. He said, no, you can think about going later. And of course, it was more of a very subtle way, not allowing me to go because of his caring nature. He's a father figure of the battalion. But somehow I was adamant, and finally he allowed,
Yeah.
thinking that isko koi, nobody can stop him.
So before you go further, where did your inspiration of paragliding come from?
I did not refer to anything after my casualty, because from the battle zone to the hospital, from hospital in Srinagar to Pune, and from Pune back to the battalion. So I had no time in my life other than rehabilitating myself and then spending time with the troops. But at times when somebody questioned you, that was the moment where I decided that I should do something where I'll fly. As the title, which is now become synonym to my life, is when people doubted my ability to walk, I decided to fly. So it was with the same thought that I thought I'll go and fly. So when I went to Billing, Bead Billing, where you're likely to go now. So there was a gentleman named Gurpreet Dindsa. He still teaches a lot of youngsters in Bead Billing, and well-known figure in the world of paragliding. And he took the challenge, and those days internet was not so easily accessible, plus very slow. Somehow it was destined that we will get in touch with each other. And this gentleman, he called me, he saw my condition, and I was very naive whether it is walking, even the instrument what we are wearing, it was made up of satch foot, that was like, those dust, wooden dust, and it would break anytime. So with few bruises, few injuries, I managed to learn paragliding in 7-8 days, and
Right.
hats off to him that I could, other than one or two landings, harsh landings, I had very feather touch landings. And thereafter, this title actually was given by him, that when people doubted my ability to walk, I decided to fly. And that is how I got into the world of paragliding.
That
And
is so
since
beautiful.
2004, I've been doing it.
Regularly.
Off late, not regularly, but yes, definitely till 2018, I was okay. I was regular with this. After that, did not get a chance, and Corona thing happened, then many other things happened.
So after paragliding, you have been inspired to do other activities as well.
Yes, so in 2004, after I came back, so it ignited the spark in my mind that from dancing to playing basketball with the troops to going for paragliding, now that quest, that hunger, let me go for something else. So I got into bullet expeditions, that is biking, and I traversed almost all the length and breadth of the country, and almost covered 1.5 lakh kilometers all over the countryside. I am still planning to go around the world on my two-wheeler.
Around the world.
Around the world. So let's see when this dream comes true. But definitely it's there on the cards. It's there in my bucket list. And of course, there are few more activities. So my third adventure activity was bullet expedition. And after that, I landed up with marathon. Ran after 12 years after losing a limb. And I could complete half marathon with the time of 2 hours 20-25 minutes.
Wow.
That is in 2014.
That is some timing, sir, because I remember myself running 21 kilometers and I took 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh,
And I consider myself as a runner.
no, 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 no.
And
You,
you
you.
running after 12 years, you somehow beat my timing as well.
So
That
let's
is
see.
some feat.
So I'll be continuing this same activity again because after 2014 I continued marathon till 2018. I think 2019 before Corona. Thereafter, I've not been able to get back to the track because of my service conditions or because of the job. I was at different places, but now I'll be continuing this and following it. And thereafter, I got into skiing along with my team. We had 6 differently able boys, young boys from Kashmir, and they managed to join me, and after that they were successful in beating me, better than me in completing their training. They are very good skiers now. Those who had lost their limbs above knee, below knee at some or the other part time of the life, so they were very good at it, and I could get onto my hands onto skiing also.
One thing
So
is, sir, to make your mind so strong that you are able to do some such stuff. But the other feat that is to inspire others while doing that as well is the best thing you can do to anyone else. So. And I salute you for that.
thank you.
Not just yourself, you've been inspiring other people as well who are in a similar situation with you, who gave up on life but still fought. Doing that is something of another
Thank
feat.
you. Thank you. So life does not stop here also. I'll be continuing doing the same thing. Do the activities, do the adventures, meet a lot of people, and if I can tap the young minds, that with limited situation, if a person can like me can go on, then I think for them even sky should not be the limit. So that is my whole aim, where I meet a lot of people, share my story, connect with them, and motivate and inspire them.
Right.
And then they come up with their ingenuity, they come up with something bigger than me, and of course they further motivate many other youngsters. So that is the aim.
So, what would you say is your purpose of life as of today?
Keep moving, don't stop, spread positivity, smile in all the adversities, adverse situation, because by crying or losing hope, it will not change the situation. But by standing firm, you start trusting yourself, you become bold, and then you control your mind,
Yes, that's beautiful.
and then you give directions to your mind, and then you do the mental mapping, and then you plan ahead what you want to do, and then you take baby steps. So that is how I design my own way out in every challenge I get from life. Then second part is, as we all know, challenges will keep coming to us. So I head on take on the challenge, as you were mentioning, putting yourself in discomfort and then coming out of you, it makes you strong. So I prepare myself in such a manner that I take on the challenges head on. So when real or a different challenge comes on my way, I'm already prepared because I got used to taking challenges by the stride. That is how I.
Are there any practices that you do for yourself to make your mind so strong that any situations doesn't move it? Is there something that you
Only
practice?
I follow only one thing: just remain calm. That is the only mantra I follow. I have so many examples of my life. At times, I'm taking off and my limb broke and I was dragged by the wind, and my soldiers came up to me to evacuate me. I said, no, I'll not go. You get my spare limb from my room, I'll wear, and then I'll fly and come down. I remained calm. Otherwise, it was easy for me to panic and say that how will I go down. Second incident, my glider went on to the turbulent side, and I was falling with the speed, and I kept myself calm. Otherwise, I could have just hit the power line, which was going from one state to other state. I could only learn for myself is that remain calm, don't react for the first few moments, because it then lets you to seep in the thoughts, the planning, that how you want to go ahead. And that is how I follow. Like now also, after I got retired, we all go through retirement blues. Like if you have been following a routine for 21, 22 years, where you get up early, you spend your entire day constructively, you are active, and by the time you retire to bed, you feel happy.
Yeah.
But after getting retired, you are just having a lot of time. So it is difficult to adjust. But then I keep my head calm, I plan, and then accordingly I am following my passions slowly, slowly, and I'm happy. So yeah.
So you spoke about the power of mind. I strongly believe that having the mind in your control is the biggest thing any person should need to do.
Yes.
Let's go back to the situation when your mind was throwing a lot of challenges at you. At the time when you had met with that accident, that phase and the phase of healing, what all challenges did you face in questioning and counter questioning with your mind?
Well, as I said that, whatever I shared with you right now, this comes with experience and learning and with the time.
Mhm.
Initial phase, as a young officer of 25-year-old, I had a lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations when I got commissioned, comradeship, leading a military life, leading the troops, camaraderie, sportsmanship, friends for life, family, so many things. And then when you plan all those things in your head, after 3 months, then you suddenly realize your leg is just blown off in front of your eyes. Okay. Where I could see my bones protruding out, I could see my nerves dangling. Imagine before 3 months what I was thinking, and at that situation when I see everything is gone, shattered. First question, why me? Second question, why at this point of time when I have just started my life? And after 3 months of commissioning, nobody would have imagined that I will go through this situation. So of course negativity seeped in. But when this happened, that time I was with my men. I did not want to jeopardize their life. So we took a call very strongly that we should not wait or stop here for the evacuation. So we kept on walking and all those things happened. But when I came to the hospital at Pune, for 3 months I had a lot of time. I did not get my limb because, of course, time is to be given to the injured leg. The swelling has to go, the edema has to subside, and that is where you are able to wear your limb. Plus, I was not used to the crutches. So at times when we used to go to the washrooms, or even climbing the stairs for that matter to go till the coffee shop, so I used to slip most of the time. I used to just fly like this and fall down on the same injury. At times the stitch used to get open. So those things added negativity. That what kind of life is this? I'm just big. I'm a disabled guy, and how will I live my life? So when I used to come back to my bed, seeing at the ceiling, so negative thought used to seep in. That how will I lead? Will I be accepted by my troops? Will my wife accept me? What about my children? What about my friends? So all those things. What about my near and dear ones, my colleagues? Will I be the same DD who was before and now after I lost one part of the body? So that was easy for me to get irritation in my head, get stress, getting into depressive mode. But somehow, uh, courtesy to my subject, what I learned in my life, I've been a student of psychology. So when you are in adverse situation, you start thinking positively. So when I started thinking about challenging my own mind, because I had learned if you don't control your mind, the mind will control you, sure shot.
Definitely.
Because the brain inside here, it's my perception that it's a driver who is blindfolded.
It is. It is.
And whatever information you give, it will drive. But if you stop giving the information or input, it will go and bang onto something.
Yes.
That is how the blindfolded driver can do. So I started feeding the positive thought and challenging it, that where is it written, I cannot walk, or I cannot dance, or I cannot fly. And then second thought was, I thought of my old days, that if that DD Goel was somebody who was quite mischievous, doing so many things in life, so why cannot I do the same thing? It brought a smile on my face, and that smile was good enough for the confidence to be built upon.
Beautiful, beautiful, sir. So a lot of the people who be watching this video
Yes.
must be going with a lot of adversities themselves in their lives.
Yes.
How do people change their narrative? Because a lot of people are going through problems.
Yes. First thing I really want to tell your audience, trust yourself first. Even if the entire world has told that you cannot do anything, still trust yourself. Ultimately, it has to come from you. So nobody will come and help you till you help yourself. So I started trusting myself. That is one. Second, as I said, challenge your belief system. Ask yourself, where is it written I cannot do it? No, you can challenge it in two ways.
Beautiful.
One, from the external side, that where is it written this situation could not have had happened to me. It's nowhere written. Anybody can meet with accident. Anybody can just fall down and injure himself. So it's nowhere written. So it can happen to me. So it happened to me as well. It was nowhere written that it will never happen. I am not immortal. So first question was answered by me, and even I tried to search, I got an answer, no, it is nowhere written. And second was from my side. If it is nowhere written, then who stops you to not to fly? No one stops me. So second time it was asked, where is it written I cannot walk? Where is it written I cannot fly? Where is it written I cannot dance? It was nowhere written. Then who stops me? And then I remembered my good old days when I was in the hospital bed. So that gave a smile and boosted my confidence. And of course, I met a lot of people. I also met a lot of people who were lesser fortunate than me. They had lost both their limbs. They had lost 4 of their limbs, hands and legs, but they were still smiling brighter, with a broad smile, with that put up bright face. So I used to think, if they are with that situation, they are smiling, then why am I brooding? So all those things got connected, and it did some chemical locha in the brain, and I turned out to be a different DD.
So in the process of changing your mindset, how important is it to write your new thoughts and write your new goals and the purpose that you want to create for yourself? Is it important to write it somewhere in your diary or maybe in your notes so that you re-emphasize to your mind?
As I said earlier, that I did my mental mapping and then planning. So either you put it in your head, but then follow it. You need to be honorable to yourself. You cannot just, put it and do nothing about it. So you need to be honorable to yourself. Second is to write it. If you write it, you look at it once in a day and think of a timeline that within how much time you will do it. So if I write, like today also I was making a note of my further adventure activities. And now since I have noted it down, now my mind will keep thinking about it, that what is the next course of action. So if you write it, keep it in front, but at the same time, you should start working on it. It should not be just a showpiece over there. So
and action is required.
Writing is important. So either if you are so firm about yourself that you have memorized it, remembered it, planned it and work on it, or if you feel you will get occupied, you may not able to keep focus, then you write it and keep it in front of you.
Nowadays, a lot of people have their phone with them, which puts in a lot of thoughts in their mind
No,
as
I
well.
believe you need to write it on a piece
No,
of paper.
what I meant was the thing that you said, mental mapping, is very difficult in today's time because there's so
Yes,
much
yes,
distraction, there's so
distraction,
much
yes,
information and knowledge from around the world.
yes,
So it's difficult to keep stern with your mind mapping, like you said. So I believe in writing strongly, and
yes,
it is
yes,
really important to reaffirm to your subconscious what your goals are.
yes. So, keeping today's generation in mind, write it in a piece of paper, put it in front of you, it should be visible to you. So, what happens is when you pass across twice, thrice, four, five, 7 times a day, you have seen that what you are planning to do. Automatically, that thing keeps working at the subconscious level at the back of your mind. So, this is something called as insight learning. You suddenly get an insight that, okay, I'll do it, and I got a plan. So, even if you don't have a plan, but you have the dream of doing some activity, write it, let the brain work, but be very confident about that. I am going to do this someday. It's not just a piece of paper. Your mind will automatically find a way, and you be determined that I am going to do it. What I do follow for myself, I can share that with you.
Yes. So coming out strongly from a situation that you were in requires a lot of discipline. It requires motivation as well, but I think discipline is something that is the first aspect of that kind of motivation. How did you keep up with the discipline?
Coming out of comfort zone, mind loves to keep you relaxed, because if you go out and take trouble, mind will also be troubled. It need to think and think and make a make pave the way for you. So mind loves to keep you in comfort zone.
Definitely.
So I did the contrary. I did otherwise. The day I felt like not going for training and give an excuse that I'm not feeling well, that day itself, when the mind said don't go, that day itself I used to go purposely.
Yes.
Even if I want to sleep, I may sleep next day or Sunday or some other day, but that day, what I'm trying to say is, whatever mind or that negative mind told me not to do, I very much did that. So it is something like you are taking control of your mind rather than the mind taking control of you. That is how I followed, and following a strict regime of going for practices. I did not compromise on my practices of running or paragliding or learning to ride a bullet. Before that, I never rode a bullet. So, that disciplined time, uh, at times I used to run with this artificial leg during heavy rains, where the entire cloth inside the stockinette inside the prosthetics, it used to get wet. I used to face a lot of bruises. The skin used to get torn. But I was adamant that if I have decided onto this time, I will go. So that was only training my mind that we need to follow.
So on the fundamental levels, you're saying it's very important to keep up with your promises.
Yes, and to yourself.
Promises to yourself.
As I said, I mentioned about a word, be honorable to yourself. And then, of course, everything follows.
Because the subconscious mind is listening to every conversation
yes,
that we have into ourselves.
Yes.
And it's so smart that it will keep you accountable.
Yes.
And if you don't do it, it'll consider you weak.
Yes. And you cannot fool yourself when you are in front of the mirror. So you know that you are actually fooling or cheating yourself. So why to get into that situation? You keep your word. There's a smile. You look with that pride in the mirror, with that head held high and the chest broad. That adds on to your confidence. So keep the word, what you have promised to yourself. That is very important.
So you also spoke about you put yourself into discomfortable situations. Will you say that it is synonym to growth?
Yes. It prepares you subconsciously and consciously to face any challenges of life. Any challenges. Because you have practiced so much by remaining or putting yourself in that discomfort situation, that any new challenge which comes, you know that I can handle this. If I can put myself into discomfort, So this is nothing new to me.
Yes.
Because of those practices, the new situation will only motivate you or make you curious that how easily I can handle this. This has happened to me, so I love doing this. To keep myself abreast with all these things, I have lined up with many other activities in the coming days. So that is how it will keep me happy, keep me smiling, keep me motivating others. And that's all what I look forward to.
Discomfort really nurtures you to be relaxed in situations so that
Yes.
you can, solve the problem in a better way,
Yes,
in a more relaxed
yes.
way and more efficient way.
Yes. You start thinking in a smoother way, rather not in a panicky situation.
True.
Because being in panicky situation, it spoils the scenario, it spoils your planning, and it also makes you inefficient in handling it.
Yes.
And one panic gives birth to 100 panicky situation and 100 kind of fears. So these remaining in discomfort, when new challenges come, you would love to take it hands on.
Beautiful, sir. When people doubted your ability to walk, you decided to fly. You wrote a book on it as well, sir. Do you want to share something about the book?
It has a very interesting background. There is a gentleman, Mr. Rajan Arya, and we met for the first time at my office. He has passion for books, and he himself owns a publication house named as Pentagon Press. So with that context, when he came to my office, I was not there. I was in some or other meeting, and I had earlier also many visitors coming to my office. So they should not get bored waiting for me. I had put few of my life's article that side of the table so that anybody who is sitting that side can read it easily. So he happened to read few of my articles and he was quite happy. He got motivated. So when I came from the meeting and I greeted him, so first thing, instead of introducing each other, he tells me, why don't you write a book on your life? Because I've been sitting here for last half an hour and I saw everything. So this thought never occurred to me. And I just, tried to say that I have not thought of it, but we'll see some other time. So he said, no, you must write. He insisted. And after that, he came twice or thrice, and I still got so busy with my life. I said, "नहीं देखेंगे बाद में sir, देखेंगे." And from there, I went to some other place. I went to Shillong, and he kept on pursuing it. I mean, he was consistent. Almost 3 years passed. And after 3 years also, he said, so what happened about the book? I said, sir, we will do something. So one fine day, actually, he really pricked my mind and my conscience. He said, what you can do is, you write your routine on that yellow slip pad and you put it in a bag and you give it to me, I'll write it. So that thing, it really pierced that, no, I mean, this person has been pursuing it and is consistent, and I've been not able to give time to it, and he himself is so happy, excited, curious to write about my life. I said, why not I do it? So I promised him that I'll write it. And see, as I said, when you promise, you need to keep your word.
Yes.
And I started writing in Shillong, and then I got posted to the National Defense Academy from there. So in that, during that phase, I completed, of course, again, it has a interesting story. So when I was under progress, writing the book, I happened to visit Delhi and I happened to meet him. So as a novice writer, I had jotted down my life story on a A4 size book, blank pages, and I had jotted down with a pencil. And I gave it to him. I said, this is the book I have written. So he went through the book and he guided me. He said, no, you need to have title, you need to have chapter wise, you need to have, and this is not the way you give that this is the book, it will need a lot of effort. So I came back again and started reworking. So he was very patient enough to guide me. And then I got permission from the army headquarters. They also went through the book and they liked the script. So when I came to National Defense Academy, the book got a title courtesy Gurpreet Dindsa, because he trained me to fly. We also had an argument, positive argument, with Mr. Rajan Arya. He said, in my entire career, I never had this long title when people doubted my ability to walk. I said, see, it is something connected to my emotions.
Definitely.
And he respected that. And he said, fine, if this is B, then it will be like this. So it went on with the same title. And finally, it reached the audience. And to my surprise, when I was posted in the National Defense Academy, the book was already procured. After the permission, the book was already procured, and I came to know later that almost 750 to 800 books are in National Defense Academy read by the cadets. So that was the motivation I could pass on to the younger generation. And the royalty of this book is going to the War Wounded Fund of Indian Army.
Wow.
So this is how the book came into picture, and I covered it not only focusing on my injury or my battle condition. That was a small part in the book. The major part of, if somebody goes through an adverse situation, how to take on life after that. So it focuses more on that. That is how the book came into life, and now it has been already translated in Marathi. Again, by one of the reader. She got so motivated that this book should reach regional language also, and that is how it was translated in Marathi. And now the work is going on for Hindi language. At the same time, somebody has already approached volunteering to translate it in Assamese language. So let's see how far it goes, but definitely this book is creating a lot of fire in the belly of young generation. And I hope it continues. Plus, I keep on adding something.
Right.
So this is the entire story of the book.
So you spoke about your purpose in life. How do you connect that to your future endeavors? What are your goals for the next few years?
Not next few years, but lifelong. My goal is to keep on doing a lot of adventure activities. Immediately right now is 3 to 4 adventure activities. That is, one is kite surfing. That is, you are on a small glider. You are airborne also, and when you land, you are not land. I mean, you are in the waters, wading the waters or waves, and you are surfing. So that is something really, exciting and giving that push to the adrenaline.
It works with aerodynamics, though.
Yes, it works with
not with the waves.
No. It works purely with aerodynamics.
Even when you're on the water.
Yes,
it stills the air that's
purely air. So you need to have good thermals. You need to have a good day and good conditions, plus good presence of mind. Otherwise, it will get you back with the same force on the ground, injuring yourself.
Where would you do it, sir?
Right now, I have chosen a destination in Goa as well as somewhere in Tamil Nadu. So, already sent a message, already communicated to them. My second sport is skydiving. Already mailed, I got a reply. They're ready to train me. So, it's only the matter of time. Whenever I get a chance, I'll go.
Where will you go, sir?
Dubai. Yeah, for skydiving, and that too solo, not tandem. I'll learn, get trained, and then go for solo.
Can I come with you, sir?
Please, it'll be a company, So company is always better. You get to learn.
Skydiving is on my list as well.
Yes, then you can come.
The reason I'm doing paragliding is honestly to be comfortable to do skydiving.
Yes.
So
great.
Even though, like I said, even though it scares me to jump from a plane, I'm still excited, and I know until I will put myself into that kind of situation, I wouldn't come ahead of it. So that's the reason of doing it.
Wonderful. And my third sport is speed riding. Speed riding is the combination of paragliding and skiing.
Okay.
So you go at the snow top with the glider, you're wearing the ski, you put on the ski, and you take off from there, paragliding. When you land, or you touch upon the top mountain tops, hilltops, you're already skiing.
Yeah.
So when you land, you are skiing, and then
So it's very
slowly
similar
stall the
to
glider.
it's similar to kite surfing.
Similar to kite surfing, but it's a combination of skiing and paragliding.
Yeah.
So instead of water, you land on the snow. And I've already spoken to a gentleman called as Manava, Manav, but he writes as Manava,
Mhm.
who is a French guy. And we have already communicated couple of times. As I said, it's a matter of time that when I push myself there,
Yeah.
and suddenly I'll be there doing something. So these 3-4 things are appealing to me,
That's great.
and continue refreshing my previous adventure activities like paragliding, skiing, then marathon, then long distance swimming, then cycling. So these activities will keep me active, keep me happy,
Mhm.
keep me calm, and allow me to motivate people.
So when you do these activities, what kind of coming to the psychological part of it, what kind of reactions happen in your mind? Like, what is your motivation to do these things? Are these to challenge yourself, or is it to show others that you could do bigger things, or is it to motivate others? What is the real essence behind you wanting to do these adventure
Okay,
activities?
it is to challenge myself.
Mhm.
See, when I started for the first time, it was definitely to prove a point. But then I realized that no, it was something else. The calling was something else from inside my heart. Because when I went for dance, it was nothing to prove to anyone. When I played basketball with my troops, it was nothing to prove. But when I went for paragliding, because somebody questioned that, will you do it? Will you be able to do it? Many other tasks. But after that, the calling was that I started enjoying.
Mhm.
So now also it is, I do it for myself. The psychological challenge does come. I get scared.
Mhm.
At the first level, I do get scared that what if I further injure myself first. But then, as I realize that these are all hypothetical situations. If there are chances of that you getting injured, there are also chances of you getting success. So I take the second part, that then I'll go, if it is a 50-50 probability, then I'll choose this one. So I gamble with my mind,
Mhm.
and uh, I love to take decisions on the spot. I don't procrastinate it. That is the psychological thing. And third part is, I do get injured also. But it is not that I am happy 24/7. I'm happy go lucky. No. I do fall in the bathrooms. I do fall in the washrooms. I do fall while hopping, and I injure my leg. At times, it bleeds. There are bruises. There are skins which are torn, and it is bleeding. So those things made my mind, or made me so immune to it, that I see and I take it normally. So after any activity like paragliding or skiing,
Mhm.
by the end of the day, when I see it, if it is a hard day, then I have a lot of injuries. But next day, I am prepared. So psychologically, already taking a gamble and taking a decision.
Yeah.
And physically, I am prepared that, of course, when the injury happens, I'll come over it. That is how I combine physical and psychological. So,
That's
so
great.
this is how I function about myself. Yeah.
So
So
I'm going to ask you two very personal questions, if you allow me,
yes,
sir.
yes, please.
One is, what is something that you would tell to your younger self? Any tip or a suggestion for life that you would give to your younger self that DD Goel knows right now, and it would help his younger self as well when knowing that kind of wisdom?
So it is something ki dekhi jayegi. So that is another way of saying take on the challenge. How it comes, where it comes, when it comes. Just be prepared. Don't be in a comfort zone. So that was the same thing what younger DD was. or would love to advise younger DD, because those days also I had the confidence कि मैं अपनी life का कुछ ना कुछ कर लूँगा. And now also when I have retired, I am the same DD by the way.
Yeah.
कि मैं अपनी life का अभी कुछ ना कुछ कर लूँगा. I'll definitely make it, and it's a promise to myself. So this is how.
So you have to keep questioning and challenging your belief system.
Yes. See, there are two minds in our brain. There are two minds, two thought process, positive and negative. Negative loves to keep you in comfort zone. Negative will make you lazy. Positive always gets, bulldozed by the negative thought. So what I do is I keep those discussion alive in my mind, and I don't let the negative mind take over. I give preference to the positive mind, and it really works. It really works. So that is how I keep questioning myself. I keep getting answer. There's one fantastic way of counseling yourself. Like I'm sitting here. I have a problem. There's a empty chair. So I throw a question on that empty chair to my own self. Like here also there's an invisible DD.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a problem, I'll ask this DD that I feel underconfident to do this activity. So I get up, I sit over there. Now that DD will answer this DD. That why do you feel so? Then come here and answer. So like that, you yourself, when you brainstorm, it becomes a single idea.
Yeah.
And when it becomes a single idea, I have a clarity of thought, and then I do it. So I follow this also.
That's a great way, sir.
Yeah. So not only it's related to adventure, to any of the life crisis,
Mm-hmm.
any adverse situation, you question yourself, you will get an answer. So that's the best way.
Second question I'm going to ask you is there any book that you would hope to read earlier?
Yes. Lot of books from psychology. I started reading it much later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a regret, but I started that attitude kind of thing much later. I was a very shy person, very skinny guy, very shy. Never ventured for, meeting people, socializing and all. When I was, ostracized, outcasted, or had no one to talk to, so those attitudes started building up slowly, gradually. And then I was all onto myself. In that bargain, unfortunately, I dropped my 2 years of my studies. Of course, then had bad companies and many trial and error situation. And then when I started learning psychology, I felt that there is some reason to it. Maybe this subject is meant for me, or I am meant for this subject. So I only wish that I could have got an opportunity to learn much earlier. Otherwise, life is good.
So you were saying if you tell your younger self, you would say read more about your mind.
Yes,
to understand your mind better.
Yeah, you have hit the bullseye. Exactly. Because to understand myself, as I said, trial and error, I wasted a lot of time. So right, you are bang onto this.
So I could go on with my questions because it's always so much inspiration I find in having conversation with you. But we must call it a day. I would want to ask you one small review about Pentagon Press and how your process was with them in publishing your book.
As I said, I was not easy to handle because I had a lot of doubts, queries. It could annoy anybody. So Pentagon Press was patient enough, showed large heart, and my book was not the kind of genre Pentagon Press publishes. It's extreme. It's totally different. So they were magnanimous for out of the box thinking, and they let this book happen. So they are always open to ideas. They are always. Abreast with the current situation. they don't relax. They go and approach people. They spark the fire and it comes out well. I have seen their publications. I have seen their books. It's of a different level. So when I compare or put my book in the shelf of books of Pentagon Press, I feel honored. So this is what I can say.
We are honored to have you, sir. Do you have any
Thank you.
message for us on our 25th year of celebration? We are celebrating 25th year with Pentagon Press. Do you have any message for Pentagon Press and the team?
Pentagon Press is already doing so well. And in the coming times, even sky will not be the limit. So my best wishes to them.
Thank you.
And keep doing, keep serving, keep reaching the different age, different people, and many more. Many more.
Thank you so much, sir. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you,
It's
sir.
a pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here on my...
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, keep reimagining yourself and know that the power of change lies within you.